22 June 1941, Nazi Germany launched Operation Barbarossa, the invasion of the Soviet Union. It was to mark the start of the Eastern Front and would see the Soviet Union join the Allied coalition. All along the border, the German army advanced into the Soviet Union. In this video, we will follow the actions of Pionier Battalion Motorisiert 51 as they spearheaded Operation Barbarossa near the border village of Sokal in present-day Ukraine. Pionier Battalion Motorisiert 51 was tasked with the capture of the bridge over the river Bug at Sokal in order to build a bridgehead over the river from where they were to push through towards Battalion and Sokal Hill. Oberstleutnant Mikosch's men had been supplied with assault boats and dinghies to carry out the attack. Mikosch had already earned the Knight's Cross of the Iron Cross for his actions during the capture of the Belgian fortress Ebenemal in May 1940. The Pioniers were already quite experienced when they were to advance into the Soviet Union in June 1941. The Pionier Battalion was located in the sector of the 57th Infantry Division. It was attached to Infanterie Regiment 199 for the opening stages of Operation Barbarossa. Supporting the assaulting pioneers were the heavy artillery, Sturmgeschütz assault guns of StuG-Abteilung 197 and various other artillery units including Nebelwerfers. The rapid capture of the bridges over the Bug River, Sokal and Sokal Hill was essential for Operation Barbarossa, as Sokal was to act as a jump-off point of Panzerstraße Mitte in the northern sector of Army Group South. This envisaged the 11th Panzer Division to push through the Soviet defences and race towards the area south of Kiev, in the centre of the German invasion. The Soviets had erected a series of trenches, anti-tank ditches and pillboxes at Sokal and the hills to the east of the village. The defences at Sokal were manned by the 4th Border Command 90th Border Guards Detachment of the NKVD. The pillboxes west of Sokal Hill were particularly well defended, with machine guns and anti-tank guns being positioned so as to create interlocking fire. Pioneer Battalion 51 was to spearhead one of the two Kampfgruppen carrying out the attack on Sokal. The battalion was supported by the heavy weapons of Infantry Regiment 199 and the Dritte Batterie StuG-Abteilung 197, minus one platoon. In case the bridge over the Bug at Battalion had been destroyed prior to capture, boats could be deployed to ferry troops across. Leading the pioneers into battle was the Zweite Kompanie. Lieutenant Rühlemann's 1st platoon and Lieutenant Brandt's 2nd platoon were to capture the bridge. Oberfeldwebel Weisenborn's 3. Zug was tasked with assembling fascines just in case the bridge was destroyed, so that the supporting StuGs could swiftly cross the river. As darkness fell, the battalion took up its forward positions in the buildings west of the river. By 1 AM on 22 June, the battalion was assembled and ready to attack. At 3:15 AM, the thunder of the guns rolled over the Bug, heralding the start of Operation Barbarossa. The screaming sound of the Nebelwerfers ended in loud explosions at the Sokal Hill and Point 254. Oberleutnant Steinkamp's 2. Kompanie, Pionier Battalion Motorisiert 51, rapidly launched the attack, with the 1st and 3rd Companies following close behind. Two border guards of the 4th Border Command 90th Detachment were overwhelmed as Feldwebel Putschner of the 3rd Platoon quickly destroyed the barbed wire defences around the bridge. Without much opposition, the leading pioneers reached the eastern bank of the Bug. Resistance coming from the nearby houses was quickly silenced by flamethrowers and grenades. In the opening stages of the battle, the company only suffered one man wounded. With the 2nd Company swiftly capturing the bridge without major incidents, the 1st and 3rd Companies were quickly pushed across the river. By 3:55 AM, the 2nd Company, battling its way through the houses and streets, managed to establish contact with elements of Infanterie Regiment 179 on the left. Within the hour, the Sokal bridgehead had been secured. With the bridgehead secured and the 1st and 3rd Companies being pushed through, the 2nd Company reverted back to support and followed the 3rd Company towards the heights to the east. After having been engaged on the right flank of Infantry Regiment 199, the 1st Company advanced towards the area south of Point 237 to pierce the defences south of Sokal Hill. They were to overwhelm the pillboxes and, in case of limited opposition, reach the eastern edge of the woods east of Sokal Hill. For this mission, one platoon of Fusiliers, one pack gun, and one StuG had been attached to the company to form 3 assault platoons, each consisting of 2 assaulting sections and 1 clearing up sections, as well as a heavy machine gun. Soon after the artillery barrage opened at 3:15 AM, elements of the 1st Company raced across the river in boats. With the help of one StuG, the feeble resistance south of Sokal was quickly crushed and the hamlet of Battalion captured. The rapid deployment of the assault platoon supported by 2 StuGs allowed the company to reach the defensive line 2 km east of Sokal within 45 minutes. The platoon of Fusiliers was meanwhile pushed towards the right to secure that flank of the battalion. While Assault Platoon 1 was attacking bunker number 3, the 2nd Assault Platoon veered off to the left towards the anti-tank ditch in order to start their attack on bunker number 4. Lieutenant Völker's 3rd Assault Platoon meanwhile cleared the Soviet positions to the rear. In order to frontally assault the bunkers lining the ridge, 2 StuGs were pushed up along the 1st Kompanie. One of these StuGs aided the 1st Assault Platoon as they frontally attacked bunker number 3. Bunker 3 contained 1 machine gun and 1 5cm anti-tank gun. However, the various bunkers were all well sighted, supporting the various strongholds through well-sighted fields of fire. While the StuGs were ineffective in destroying the bunkers, they did prove effective in suppressing the Soviets within the pillboxes. The assault platoon was able to reach the bunker and subsequently destroyed its machine gun using a 6 kg charge. However, the staunch Soviet resistance lasted for 2 hours until the Pionier were able to breach the defences of the bunker. 3 Soviet soldiers were captured, with 6 being found dead inside. Lieutenant Völker's 3rd Assault Platoon, having cleared the rear, moved in to attack bunker number 4 with the support of the other StuG assault gun. The StuG managed to overcome the anti-tank ditch, but it soon came under direct fire from an anti-tank gun from bunker number 24 at the factory, knocking it out. Völker was soon fired on from multiple directions, halting his advance towards the bunker. It wasn't until shortly after 5 AM, when another StuG arrived which began to pummel bunker number 24, that Völker was able to move up towards the bunker. Völker met up with Lieutenant Thürmann, and together with a heavy machine gun they managed to eliminate the bunker. During the attack, Völker was severely wounded, but stayed on the battlefield to continue leading his men. The 2nd Assault Platoon subsequently moved in between bunkers 3 and 4, but they were immediately met with heavy flanking fire, pinning down the entire platoon. It wasn't until the arrival of a StuG that the platoon was able to make ground and reach bunker number 4A, of which the anti-tank gun had already been put out of action. After a sharp action, the bunker fell in possession of the Pionier, upon which the 1st Company began to attack the bunkers to the north to link up with the 3rd Company. With bunker 4A secured, the company could also begin its advance towards Sokal Wood. However, it took the Pionier a further hour, and several failed attacks before also bunker number 4B was captured. A difficult fight continued as several pillboxes on the left flank raked into the positions held by the Pioneer Battalion. In order to prevent taking unnecessary losses in a frontal assault, the positions were left to Infantry Regiment 179 to capture. Just like the 1st Company, the 3rd Company was also reinforced by an assault gun, a pack and a Fusiliers platoon. They too were to push towards the forest east of Sokal Hill. However, their line of advance ran straight across the hill. After the bridge had been captured by the 2nd Company, the 3rd Company advanced straight towards point 237, where they were met with sporadic machine gun fire. Lieutenant Hartnung's assault platoon quickly advanced further, reaching the anti-tank ditch overlooked by bunker number 169. In the attempt to advance, the platoon came under heavy fire from bunker number 128. The Pionier had to evade the deadly fire by hiding in the neighbouring cornfield. As the 3rd Company found itself fired upon by bunkers 128 and 169, a wounded Lieutenant Völker had advanced towards bunker number 128. Explosive charges destroyed the bunker's doors and grenades killed the 3 occupants inside. Little by little, bunker by bunker, the Soviet defences were overrun. With 128 out of action, Lieutenant Hartnung was able to resume his attack on bunker number 169. At 5:15 AM, his platoon managed to kill all 3 occupants, capturing the stronghold. While Pioneer Battalion 51 was knocking out bunkers 128 and 169, elements of the 1st Battalion Infantry Regiment 199 advanced towards bunker number 24 and the factory. A platoon under Feldwebel Koch, supported by a StuG, advanced towards the same bunker over dead ground. Using grenade, Koch's men managed to enter the trenches linking up the bunker with the factory complex. However, in a difficult battle, Koch used all his explosives to no avail. Running out of ammunition, he was unable to knock out bunker number 24. However, the 2nd Company arrived just in time and managed to silence the bunker. Armed with flamethrowers and explosives, the Pionier captured the position, killing many defenders in the process who refused to surrender. With the initial bunkers and pillboxes captured, the 2nd Company was put in between Companies 1 and 3 to resume the attack on the factory and the nearby strongholds. During the advance, Lieutenant Helmut Trager managed to knock out more bunkers which were hampering the battalion's advance. Lieutenant Hilse meanwhile chased the defenders from Bunker 129 into the forest. At 5:20 am, both Hilse and Hartnung attacked Bunker 181. Armed with two 76mm anti-tank guns, the defenders of the bunker put up a staunch resistance, causing multiple casualties to Infantry Regiment 199. Several attempts to knock out the bunker failed, but suddenly a section of Soviet soldiers attempted to push Hartnung back using grenades and small arms fire. However, the supporting machine guns made short work of the Soviet counterattack, and the bunker was eventually captured, despite Hartnung's men being fired upon from the factory. After 3 hours of heavy combat, also the factory fell into German hands. With most bunkers captured, the attack shifted towards the village of Horbkiv and Sokal forest. By 6:15 am, the first elements of Pionier Battalion Motorisiert 51 reached Horbkiv, from where patrols were sent up the slopes towards the wood on the hill. The wood was reported clear, and elements of Infantry Regiment 199 advanced through it at 7:30. In order to cover the right flank of the infantry, the 3rd Company of Pioneers were sent inside the wood. Meanwhile, Kampfgruppe A, mainly comprising of the 11th Panzer Division's Panzeraufklärungsabteilung 231 and Panzerregiment 15, entered Sokal to begin their advance towards Startakiv, some 8 kilometers to the east. At 12:30 pm, the 3 companies of Pionier were positioned behind the 1st Battalion Infantry Regiment 199 at point 247, north of Xavierovka, present-day Romanivka, just southwest of Tartakiv. As the 1st Battalion made slow progress towards Tartakiv, the Pionier were subjected to a violent artillery barrage, forcing them to dig in. As the battalion dug in, their fighting on the first day of Operation Barbarossa drew to a close. Later that day, all 3 companies would be withdrawn from the line for refitting. A total of 75 machine guns, 21 anti-tank guns, and 5 artillery pieces were found within the area captured by the Pioneers. The battalion came out relatively unscathed, considering the violent battles for the various bunkers east of Sokal, with just 1 man killed and 9 wounded. In total, the 57th Infantry Division had 36 men killed and 120 wounded. They managed to capture 30 Soviet prisoners. The Battle of Sokal was a great example of how a staunch Soviet resistance at the border was overrun by skillful inter-arms attacks. Similar feats would be seen all along the front line on the first day of Operation Barbarossa. This was the Ace Destroyer. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, why not give it a like and subscribe to the channel. I hope to catch you in another video. Cheers!